So welcome to my next video. In this video we will see how to pull the email address of multiple users at a time from SAP accounts. So generally it is an easy task for you to see the email address when you have been asked to see it in one account. Simply you have to go to SU01, put the user ID and take out the email address. But what if you have been asked to find out the email address of more than one user? Or let's say you have a task to give your business a list of which shows the username and the email address for 100 users. So if you don't know how to pull out the email address correctly, you may end up going to SU01 for each user and copy paste the user account. So it is a time consuming activity. So instead of that, we can use a mechanism where the email address of 100 users could be pulled out easily, and it is not that much time taking. You have to simply copy paste the things from one table another table. So let's see how do we do that. The first point to see here is no table store a direct record showing user and its email address that is maintained in SAP account. Okay, no table stores a direct relationship of user and email address. So a personal number is assigned to every user in SAP system by default. This personal number can be seen in table USR21. So whenever you create a user account, the system by itself assigns one personal number to the user, and that personal number is unique for all users. All users will have a separate unique personal number. Personal number and email address relation is maintained in table ADR6. So there is a separate table called as ADR6. This table stores the relationship of personal number and email address. So we have to make use of these two tables to identify the email address of 100 users or whatever the number of users you wish to find out their email address. Pull out the personal number for users from table USR21. So the first step involved is we will pull out the personal number for users from USR21. Use this personal number in table ADR6, and then when we have a data of user personal number to the personal number and email address, we can simply use the Excel formulas to map the user and the email address. So the output would be something like this. We will have a user and their personal number. This is we have in one place. In the second place we have a relationship from, okay, so this relationship is coming from table USR21. Now the second relationship we have is personal number to email address, and this is coming from ADR6. Okay, so first we have to pull this data and use this personal number here in ADR6 and find out the email address. So let us see this in system. I need to identify the users. So let me find out the users available in this system. So I have 40 users in this system. I copy them in spreadsheet. Now I go to table USR21 to pull out the personal number of user. I paste all my 40 users here and execute it. So I have a relationship showing me username and person number. Address number is something which is similar for all users, and it is identifier for the user's location. So I copy this user and person number relationship. I paste it here. User and person number. So I have one relationship now. Now I copy all these personal number, go to another table in /NIC16. The table name is ADR6. Enter. This is the person number field. I paste all the person number, that is 36, and execute it. So I get only 4 email address, person number to the email address. And the reason is that the other users in this list does not have any address, email address maintained in their ID. So let me copy this, and we will see whether the other has email address maintained or not. So 188.5.1987. So let's see for this one. So no email address is maintained. Let's say for this one, no email address is maintained. For another one, no email address is maintained. So the reason we did not get the email address of other person number is that it is not maintained in their user account. So we have now person number and email address. So this mapping is available here, and using these two mappings we have to find out the user account. Okay, so the email address is determined by using a VLOOKUP formula between the two sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. Sheet 1 we have user and person number mapping, and sheet 2 we have person number and email address mapping. So in the sheet 1 you have to create a column as email address and apply a formula as VLOOKUP in the sheet 1 for the B2, like we are going to search the B2 from sheet 1, comma, from the sheet 2 between A and B, between A and B column we have to search. So from sheet 2 between A and B, if this number means sheet 1's B2 column, this is found, then the output should be the 2, means index number 2, the column B has index number 2, or else false. So by using this, we have identified the email address of these users. Okay, so I will copy this one and I will show you again. I'm deleting this one, everything is deleted. So the formula goes, we look up sheet 1's B2, we look up sheet 1's B2 has to be found out in sheet 2 A column B. Index number that has to be displayed is 2 or else false. I close it and extend it further, so I get the email address of the user for which the numbers are found over here. So this is one mechanism you can identify the email address of the users in SAP using these two tables. Second and the most convenient way is to create a SAP query using these two tables, and using this query you will be able to see the email address quickly. So let us see how do we create. Go to T-code SQVI, create a query like z underscore user underscore email. Click on create, give a description, select here table join and click on OK. Insert table. First one is USR21. Second table ADR6. Go back. Now we will decide the inputs and output field. So in the email address, I need to display only the email address. And from the table USR21, I need to display only the username. The inputs will be username. So that's in the selection field, I have selected username. And in the output field, I have selected user and email address. So let's execute it for the users. Let's say for these 3 users for whom we have the email address in their accounts. So this query will join the 2 tables, match the data, and will give you the result. I paste my 3 users, click on execute and execute. So I got the username and the email address. I can change this layout as well. Username should be displayed at the top. So the line 1 will user master record and then email address. I execute it again. Paste all 3 users and execute. So my output is as required, username and the email address. So these are the 2 mechanisms using which you can identify the email address of multiple users in one go in SAP system. Thank you so much.